keeping track of that.
Believe it or not, it's one of those things where there's so many things that you got to check, and most of the time you just do it automatically, when you're flying. Um, but I have a checklist. I put it in my Mavic Mini, and I haven't taken it out of the Mavic Mini um, because I think I know everything already. You know what I mean? And I should make up a new one for each of my drones, a checklist itself. But I do it in my head. Um, and it's one of those things where it's so important. But Rob, can we talk a little bit about you and your volunteer work with the Syosset Fire Department?
Sure. Before we do, I have a technical question for Nick. You had said that you used a spotlight on your drone, which I have that on one of my drones, but I don't have the ability to turn it on or off while in flight. With the Matrice, do you have to turn that on before you take off, and it stays on, or do you have the ability to turn it on and off while in flight?
Yeah, we were able to turn it on and off. We were able to turn ours on and off in flight. It came with, at first it kind of was, and once it was on. But through a software update that we had got from DJI, then it turned, and we were able to turn it on.
Yeah, that's a big help too, because you don't want to waste the battery on the light pulls a lot of power.
Yes.
And you don't want to waste the battery if you don't have to.
Right. Yeah. Hey, I have to say hello to a few more people in the chat, and then we'll get back to you in a minute, Rob. But hey, Alan, all the way in Ireland, good to see you. Drone Reviews Media, Steve Carpenter out in California, how you doing? Flat Earth Vegans, how you doing? We got a lot of people in the chat, and I really appreciate that. But Rob, back to you. You were starting to talk about the Syosset Fire Department and how you started their drone program.
Correct. Right now, it's currently 2 Part 107 pilots, myself and one other pilot. I am not what's called a Class A firefighter. I'm not an interior firefighter any longer. And we have a small department. We have 138 members. Of that, maybe 80 of them are actually active members. So we're trying to pull more people in that are not interior firefighters, because you never want to take away from the interior attack on a structure fire, because you need all the hands you can get. We're just additional information, and then that's the way I look at it. We're an ancillary source for the chief's office, to get better appreciation of staging apparatus for large commercial fires and such like that, which the drone has been very successful with helping staging of equipment. So we're not all bottlenecked in and no one can get in or out.
Well, I first of all, I want to say thank you for your service, both of you. Nick, you also. A lot of people don't realize that it takes a lot to become a firefighter or a police officer, and I want to say thank you both. Okay.
Thank you.
But Rob, I know you got a video lined up. You think now is the time to show it, and maybe you can explain it?
Yeah, I may pause it a couple of times. Do I start it, or do you start it?
I'll add it to the stream, and then you can talk about it.
I just lowered the audio a little bit. I'm going to pause it real quick. Actually, start it over. Let's play it a little bit more. All right. The engine is here. You guys are going to see the fire in a little bit, and I don't want to get too technical. But in this stretch, it's called a fire to hydrant stretch. Normally, the engine will pull right up to a hydrant first. In this case, it was just easier to stretch the line and then have the engine go over to the fire. So it's a shed fire in the 3/4 corner of the property. And you'll also notice the neighbors. You'll see a little hose line stream there and a little hose stream there. trying to put a shed fire out, obviously it's not enough water, and they're not hitting the base of the fire. But for the people who are watching, Ray, as you and I were talking earlier, with shed fires, they're extremely
I'm just flying
dangerous
for the
because
fire
you could have
department. I'm staying out of the way.
chemicals, fuel, you have snow throwers, lawn equipment, fertilizer.
Yeah.
It's just not a good idea to put yourself in
Just so you
close
see what I see.
proximity
Come here.
to a shed fire. You think it's just a small
Your
little
shed's still
thing,
okay. Maybe
but
some of the siding is burning off of it, but it's still
and
okay.
you have a much bigger issue on your hands.
Wow.
And that's the whole video. It's a very short video. It's what the fire department allowed me to share.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive video, that's for sure. And you know, Rob, I didn't realize that shed fires are so dangerous. Really.
A lot of people don't, because you think, oh, it's just a shed. You know, it's a small 8x10 structure or 10x10 structure. You have to think about what's inside them. Ray, what would you store in your shed?
I know.
You know,
in the old days, they used to store gasoline in my shed for the lawnmower.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't do it anymore. Yeah.
And now you're getting more exotic things with people with electric lawnmowers, and the batteries, the acids. There's a much larger problem than just a shed fire.
Yeah, that's for sure. How long have you been doing it with the fire department?
I joined in 2002, so I guess this is 20 years this year. Well, next month will be 20 years.
Right. Okay, great. And Detective Sergeant Williams, how long have you been with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office?
14 years.
Yeah.
Time
flies when you're having fun, right? That's how I look at it, But Rob, you fly for fun also, and I know we've been to a couple of locations. How often do you fly for fun?
I try to get out once or twice a month at least. But here in New York, I know, Ray, you've been enjoying the beautiful Florida weather. I'm going to remove this video just so it goes back to that.
Yeah, that's good.
This past month and a half in New York, it's been snowing, raining, snowing, cloudy, wind up, 60-mile-an-hour gusts. I have not had an opportunity to fly in a good 6, maybe even 8 weeks, maybe 2 months now, just to fly for fun.
Okay.
I have not, and I also would like to fly commercially, and there's been a lot of work that I haven't been able to do because with the cloud cover, you're just not going to get the colors that you want when you're doing real estate and stuff like that.
Right. I know you're a Part 107 and you do a lot of commercial work. You've shared, some of your jobs with me. Do you want to tell the viewers what kind of jobs you do as a commercial?
Some real estate, and the real estate that's been farmed to me is a 2-hour drive closer to where Ray lives on Long Island in the Hamptons. Large estates, they're beautiful homes, multi-million-dollar homes. That's the bread and butter. But I've done some inspections. I've done some work, as you know from previous shows, with Netflix, which nothing has come of that as of yet. I have to email the director and say, hey, where are we at? Because I'd like to be able to know when that,
I mean, you say, yeah, and I did something for Netflix. That's big, man. That is really big.
It was, right now it looks like it's a one-off kind of thing. Although I was called back many times to do some more shooting for the same docudrama. But I think once they put it out there and it's available on Netflix and I can get, a little bit more credit, then more things will start rolling my way that way. Again, my editing, I'm horrible at video editing. So to be able to just go up, get the shots that the director wants, and then say, here's the data, you do it as you want, I loved working in that environment.
Yeah, right. I mean, I can only imagine what it's like, to film for Netflix. You know, it's amazing and it's great. I think it's great. But listen, we got to stop the show because Eddie Nunez is in the chat.
Oh,
You know Eddie.
bring
And,
Eddie in.
welcome, Eddie. How you doing? Good to see you. You know, but we'll get back to the stories in a minute because I got some, I guess you could say, breaking news. But better yet, I have a raffle prize right in front of me. I just received it 10 minutes before we went on the air. This is the donation from Marcus Crawford of Idaho Quadcopter. It's a drone mask. I don't know if anybody can read it. So this is one of the raffle prizes. But then Marcus also sent a drone. It's an SJRC F7 folding drone. So this is going to be another raffle prize. And you know, I got to say thank you to Marcus Crawford. It really means a lot to me.
That's very generous.
I know, and I'm gonna plug the South Florida Drone Meetup at this point. So I just want to tell everybody in the chat about the South Florida second annual South Florida Drone Meetup. We're having it in Jensen Beach this year, and it's going to be on Saturday, April 2nd, 2022. You know, it's free. So come on and join us. I have 79 people on the list. This is the list. Very sophisticated system I have. The shirts have been ordered, just to let everybody know, and they should be in shortly. But we got a lot of things planned for the South Florida Drone Meetup this year, along with other raffle prizes. And Robbie from Travel Tech 360 is in the chat. He's donating a Mini 2 drone as a raffle prize, along with a GoPro camera and action cams. And I want to say thank you to Robbie. Maddie's he's donating an FPV drone kit. And we have so many. I could go on for another 10 minutes, to be honest with you. You know, but I'll get.
Ray, I thought you were going to raffle off a different drone tonight, the Mavic 3.
Yeah.
Raffle off the Mavic 3?
No, I don't think I'm ready to raffle that off yet. Believe it or not, with the issue, DJI has been in touch with me every day. They send me emails. How's it going? You know. But anyway, Dre's in the house tonight. Recovery One Drone. How you doing, Dre? Good to see you. But back to you guys and your story. You know, you both have very interesting stories. But go ahead, Rob. Go ahead. You were going to say something?
I think it was Nick.
Oh, Nick.
Yeah.
Okay.
The logbook stuff. I mean, that is very important because we kept a logbook for every flight that we did. And then we kept. We also had maintenance logbooks, and because like I was part of the maintenance crew, so once a week, which usually was Sunday for me because I was off Friday, Saturday. Every Sunday I would discharge the batteries, recharge the batteries, make sure the battery health on those are good. Always checking for swollen batteries. Those are quite important. Keep your drone from falling out of the sky. Because we had a situation one time to where our battery wound up swelling up on us and then it quit. And so luckily the drone wasn't very high to where it would do any tremendous damage, but it did kind of fall out of the sky close to us because one of the batteries wound up going bad. But it's real important to stay on top of that as far as your battery health and, you know, prop health. And people just think, oh, these props will last forever. No, they start to degrade. They truly do. So that is very important. Maintenance logs and that.
That is one thing I am good about is I always check my props. Every time I start my drone, I check them. But go ahead, Rob. Go ahead.
In my logbook, I even go as far as when I do a firmware update. I log that, the date and time and what firmware update is in. And my rationale, I maybe it's the fire department training. You practice and you do things for the worst event. Because if everything goes right, there's very little to remember. You need to be able to remember to do things all the time consistently for when things don't go correctly. So for me with the logbook, I do that because if something goes wrong and the FAA has a question, they're going to ask you for a logbook, not a digital logbook. They're going to want to see a handwritten logbook. They're absolutely going to ask for one. They right now they do not make a distinction between manned aviation aircraft and logs and drone logs. There's no distinction. They want to see it.
You know, I have my logbooks in the other room. If I knew we were going to be talking about it, they would have been right here next to me.
I don't know. Hold on.
But it is so important.
Yeah, I don't have my logbook here.
Yeah, I've recently how important logbooks and checklists are because I'm in the process of getting my private pilot's license. So I deal with a lot of logbooks now.
Yeah.
Checklists, I do almost.
Everything has to be documented. You know, you can't depend on the log from the drone itself. They still want to see a handwritten. If you're getting into manned aviation, a plane loses half its value, I believe, if it doesn't have a proper manual logbook along with it.
Yep,
I've heard that.
So you know,
heard that.
That's how important a manual logbook is. And again, I know I'm comparing manned aviation and aircraft to drones, but there are still things that occupy the sky.
They still treat it the same. I mean, you can, because like a lot of the things transfer over between, your airspace, when you can fly, when you can't fly, cloud coverage. I mean, all that still applies both, within the drone world and, manned aviation. So, I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Rob, we got a question from Ken Nita. When you fly at a fire, do you need a visual
observer? It's always good to have, but the FAA doesn't require a visual observer other than the pilot. But again, usually when I'm flying for the fire department, it's just me. So I set up my little safe area by command, as long as I could take off or land. And I have not had the luxury of a visual observer. Unlike Nick, I don't have a team, really. It's just me. We're trying to build that team, but I would love to have a visual observer, especially for night missions.
Well,
it makes things a lot easier.
Kind of one of the things that we did, that I was a part of the process for, because like for the most part, when it comes to rapid response, it was just me. So to kind of combat that, what we did was I trained all the other deputies on patrol just how to be visual observers. So, when another deputy shows up on scene, they would know how to be a good visual observer for me, because, I would put them through a mini class to help them understand, what are you looking at? What are the things you see? Day and night illusions and things like that. So that was kind of one of the things that helped us out when when we're not working as a team and it's just a rapid response kind of situation, having one of them, help me out.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Being with a paid and a volunteer department, you kind of have that luxury. Being in a volunteer department, the members, especially the initial attack that you're dealing with, you don't have the luxury of having extra people. It's not, you could be 15 minutes into an operation, and then you'll have that, that mutual aid department coming in, and maybe you can grab, if you got a guy standing around, just grab a guy and say, hey, just help me keep an eye on the drone. I haven't been to that point yet. I have developed classes, PowerPoint presentations to teach visual observer within the department. We have not implemented any of that yet. Again, the drone program within the department is still just me and one other member for the most part. And we're trying to expand the program and have it a more formal operation rather than me responding in my pickup truck with a drone. The other side of that is the questions that I brought up with the chiefs and the commissioners of the department. If we respond to a hazmat call and I put that drone in the hot zone, well, now what do I do? I have, the Autel with the 640T sensor. That's $10,000. That's now in the hot zone. If it's truly a hazardous material operation, that drone's not coming back to me. Who's footing that bill? Because my insurance isn't going to pay it, right? So we've had to, create some lines, and it's flying a drone in for the police department, for a volunteer department. There's a lot of similarities, and there's a lot of considerations that you don't think of until you start doing these things. So, I had showed you a picture earlier, Ray, that we can't show it here, of organic peroxide, hazardous material leak. And I showed you with the 640T sensor on the drone, you could see it off gassing. Again, It was a non-hazardous material. We didn't know that in the moment. I had to put in the drone and zoom in on it to identify what the material was. But I could have, that's when you say, I could have just lost my drone.
Yep.
Because I had to bring it within the hot zone and identify the product.
Yeah, no. You take a chance. There's no doubt about it. You're taking a chance. Yeah. You guys are so interesting. I could listen to you all night.
I don't want to bore the audience with the technical stuff.
And Ken Huppow wants to buy you a drink. So,
yeah.
Anytime. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. I find it difficult still to pay attention to you guys talking and read the comments. But I can see that the people in the chat are finding it very interesting,
I hope so. I love doing this stuff, and I'm sure I could do, nerd talk and drone and firematic and SARS missions all day long. But I know this group tends to, want to talk about that beautiful lighthouse, that beautiful, waterfall shot with a drone. So I get it.
Well, a lot of times, it is, and there's a time and place for everything. But tonight is your time, and I want to talk about police drones, and I want to talk about fire department drones. And again, I appreciate you both being on. Really, it means a lot to me. It does. That I run a contest, right? Well, maybe you guys don't know, but I do a monthly contest, and it's a very sophisticated contest, and it's to win one of the Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly hats, and you guys are eligible too. And the way I do it is it's the first one that gets the correct color that I have written on the pad over here.
Mother of pearl.
Goes in. Basic colors, guy. Basic color. So I'll try to keep an eye on the chat to see whose name is going to go in the drawing for the hat. And I already see the correct answer, and I think Chris Waters got it first. It's green. So Chris, congratulations. I'll double check it to make sure nobody else got it before you, but your name will be going in for the hat this month. And I know everybody appreciates it when they receive a Captain Ray Kelly hat. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, they love getting something for free. So anyway, guys, listen, another question that I ask all the guests, is, what is your favorite drone to fly? And Nick, maybe we can start with you. What's your favorite drone to fly?
So far, I still have to say it's my Mavic 2 Zoom. Besides that, I really want to try the new DJI FPV drone. I have not had a chance because I really want to start getting into FPV, but I just haven't had a chance. But I really want to fly that one. But right now, I'm heavily into my Zoom.
Okay. Yeah. We've heard that. The people who have them love them. Really. What about you, Rob?
My workhorse up until I got the Mavic 3 was the Mavic 2 Pro, but the Mavic 3 I just enjoy flying it. The color, you're getting better. The flight characteristics are great. I know there's people who have made some complaints about satellites, taking 7 minutes in some instances. As we spoke earlier, Ray, I haven't run into that issue. 3
You
minutes.
have the Cine, right?
I
Correct.
have
You
the
have
Cine,
the
correct.
version?
So I don't know if that's unique to the Mavic 3 that's not the Cine without the smart controller, or if I haven't run into that much of an issue. But I take that time to, get the logbook going. Put in my lat longs, put in what I'm flying for, getting that I checked the props and I checked everything else before we take off. So it's the time that I was going to use anyhow. So I let it lock on some satellites.
Yeah, I know. I believe Eddie Nunez also has this Cine, the Mavic 3 Cine. So if Eddie, if you're still in the chat, let us know if you're having a satellite issue. But regarding the satellite issue, I did not have the problem before the update, and it only started once they did that update. But anyway, they'll work it out. There's no doubt about it.
My maiden flight, Stevie Bronx from Capture LifeConnections was with me for my Mavic 3 maiden flight, and he's like, "Oh my God, it took off right away." He was expecting this huge delay, and it was before the 2 updates that had come out. So it was before a lot of the advanced features were available. But no, when I have not had the same problem with satellite link ups.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I really am, because I really do love the drone. I do. The camera's phenomenal, and I was really, really promoting it big time. But it'll all be worked out.
Even if there is that kind of delay, right? You're not really using the battery, right? Because the props really aren't spinning.
Right.
What's the big deal? And
well,
again, if you respond
yesterday.
Yeah.
And again, it wasn't a commercial job. I was flying for fun, but I'm trying to film a cruise ship coming into the port.
Wow.
It's just coming in. I said, "Oh, I'll have this ready to fly." Well, now that the ship came, and now I got to chase the ship when they're locked on the satellite.
All right, so maybe there are instances.
Yeah, it was funny actually, because my friend was with me and he was sort of laughing. You're missing the shot. You're missing the shot. He kept saying. So,
but you should see a lot of cruise ships coming in and out, correct?
No, not here in Palm Beach. Yeah, down in Fort Lauderdale, there's a lot. In Miami, there's a lot, but the Port of Palm Beach only has one cruise ship. A lot of cargo ships, but only one small cruise ship. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
Right.
But I'll try it again, and I'll give myself 20 minutes next time.
We were having some issues with certain bridges that we have in the county that were heavily built still. We were having magnetic compass issues with those.
Yeah.
So we were having there was quite a few areas at the moment. We couldn't really take off. I mean, it was just, we had one instance where we had a drone, it took off, and then due to, compass issues, I mean, it just fell right out the sky. So yeah, those are things that you have to plan for.
Yeah, that's for sure. I know that would affect it, no doubt about it. Again, I was a brand new Phantom 4 flight pilot, I should say. I brought it down to Florida, after about the third flight. I'm coming down to Florida, and I go on this old bridge that was turned into a fishing pier. But it was a grate, metal grate walking out to the end. And I put the Phantom 4 down, and all of a sudden the camera is jiggling and wobbling, and I'm saying, "What the heck is wrong with this camera?" And I couldn't figure it out, and I wasn't that experienced, but it did dawn on me, there's something wrong with this grate probably. And I walked all the way off the bridge, started the drone on the concrete in the blacktop, and then I flew it down again. But anyway, yeah, that can definitely affect it. That's for sure. Hey, Steve, wait, we gotta stop. Stevie Bronx is in the house. How
He
you doing,
probably
Steve?
heard I was talking about him, so he had to jump in.
Yeah, and Stevie Bronx, he's one of the best guys in the whole drone community.
He's
as
a
far as
great guy.
Yep, and he's coming to the South Florida drone meetup, just to let everybody know. Um, but and Michael Blade, how you doing, Michael Blade? Good to see you. I think I said hello to Dennis Lovelady. I think Bob Casey. Good to see you. So we got a great crowd in the house, you know. And I apologize if I don't mention everybody's name. Um, but so Robbie, you're looking forward to the South Florida drone meetup.
It looks like I'm going. The flight hasn't been booked yet, but I'm looking at flights. I did reserve the hotel just to make sure I'd still have a room. I think you should squeeze the hotel for more stuff, Ray. That's my personal opinion. I think you should beat them up a little bit.
Yeah, believe me, it was tough. It was tough getting that group rate. Believe me. Don't forget, guys, we do have an official hotel. It's the Hampton Inn and Suites in North Stewart, and the code to get the discount is SFD, South Florida Drone. So you just got to call the hotel, mention that code, and you should get the discounted rate. So, and if you have any problems, you can get in touch with me. But it's all worked out now. So everybody's been getting the discounted rate. And
is there a cutoff date for that rate?
Yeah, there is actually. March 15th is the cutoff date. There's a limited amount of rooms that are assigned to our group, let's say. So make your reservations sooner rather than later, you know. And that's all I have to say about it.
Matty Drone World said that all the drinks are on him, at the hotel.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Got that, Matty? Rob just said it, so, you know.
You guys ever got the chance to meet John McBride?
Who's that?
Have you ever got the chance to meet John McBride?
Doesn't ring a bell. Who is that? I don't know him. No, I don't know him.
Yeah, he used to work for a company called RMUS, and then he just recently became one of the training coordinators high up at Autel. Yeah, great guy. Huge in the drone industry as well.
Okay, that's good to know. I know Autel, when the old CEO was there, they were going to get involved with the South Florida drone meetup, but a week later he was gone. So I haven't heard from him since.
Randall Lawrence was the CEO that you're referring to.
He was a good guy.
I still chat with him on Facebook Messenger now and again.
Oh, you do?
He's a great guy. Great family man.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because you have a Autel drone, and you actually got to talk to him when you initially bought that drone, right?
Yeah, right after I had seen him on your show, we do most volunteer fire departments do a fire prevention day. So we were going to do one again. COVID kind of messed that up, but I had reached out to him to see if he could send us some. What do you call these? Put them around your neck.
Lanyards.
Thank you. Lanyards. Right. Lanyards to put around your neck, and just some giveaways for the people that were coming that day. And he was right on it. He had sent like 3 emails out, CC'd me on everything. Hey, reach out to Rob Camarta and at this email address, and send him And then I had to stop everything because the event got canceled. So, but he was very proactive.
Right, he was. But speaking of lanyards, I just happen to have the lanyard that we're giving out at our South Florida drone meetup, and it's from Pilot Institute. Greg donated 125 of them, so the first 125 are going to receive one of these, and then Brad is making up the ID cards. I spoke to him yesterday, and they'll have a nice ID card made up with your name on it and the location, and then he's also making up coasters again as a giveaway. And and I got to say thank you to Brad Alston for doing that, and thank you to Pilot Institute for the lanyards.
Yeah, Greg Rendezvous. If I pronounce the name correct, Greg Rendezvous. Is that how you say his last name?
Yeah,
He's a great guy. He's a great guy too.
Exactly. I know. It's really going to be a great meetup, and I'm not just saying it because we're organized it. Anytime drone pilots get together, as you know, Rob, when we went to Spin Up, it was a great event. It really was. And we were up in Rhode Island at that meetup, and we had a great time. It's just fun meeting everybody, talking to everybody, sharing drone stories and tips. You learn when you go to these things.
I spend so little time flying at drone meetups and just talking to everybody. I'm very bad with remembering names and putting a name to a face. So that's all I'm trying to concentrate on is just remembering everybody that we're meeting, for the first time in most cases.
Great network.
Yeah.
And I gave you your invitation in the back room, So I'm going to give you right now. Feel free to come and join us. Sgt Nick, we'd love to have you, come and fly for fun and meet a lot of these guys that are in the chat and in the drone community. And I have breaking news. You hate to use that term, but it's breaking news as far as the drone meetup is concerned. I was contacted by the United States Army about if we would be interested in having their drone unit come to this South Florida drone meetup.
Yes.
I said, yes, I would love to come. And actually, a recruiter, the one who contacted me, and he says, all right, I just had to make sure that we would be welcome. I'm going to contact who I have to contact, and I'll get back to you. And he did. He got back to me Friday. He says, we're sending 2 representatives from our drone unit in Alabama, and they're going to come to our drone meetup along with a military vehicle is the way you worded it. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And
are the Blue Angels coming?
Well, I'm working on that. So, but, it's funny because that I was involved with fishing tournaments, and I organized a river festival and a boat show one time. And believe it or not, I had skydivers come in and land in the middle of it one time. But it wasn't the Blue Angels or nothing like that. So. But anyway, I want to say thank you to the United States Army too for sending representatives, because I know people will find that very, very interesting.
Most definitely.
So,
especially if they bring a military drone, fly that around.
Yeah, I mean, Stevie thinks it's sick, so
Hopefully they can bring like the little dragonfly. I don't know if you've ever.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too. Is that what it's called? Dragonfly? Okay, yeah.
Looks like a little helicopter. That's a great little drone.
I don't know about being a legend, but I do reach out to people. But again, they reached out to me because just to let everybody know, this South Florida Drone Meetup is listed as an official event in Martin County. It's in their guide. It's on their website, and that's how they found out about it. So
at this event, do you come in on a parade float at the beginning? How does this work? if it's that official.
And I got to say, thank you to the committee. It ain't all me. Johnny Alfonso's on the committee. Maddie Cunduff's on the committee. And Brad Alston's on the committee, and Bill Ronane's on the committee. So, it's all of us working hard behind the scenes to put put together this nice drone meetup. So hopefully the weather will cooperate. I put in a request for good weather, you know. Um, but it's one of those things where I'm looking at the names in the chat and there's so many familiar faces. I don't know if you know a lot of these faces, Rob. I think you do.
Maddie, Stevie. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I know.
Mendez, I know. Yeah.
Sarge-
JSK Enterprise. I don't know the face, but I know the name.
Sergeant Nick, I got to say, these guys in the chat, most of the time they're in every week. Not only on this show, they're on the Fly for Fun show, and they support all the other channels. And speaking of supporting the channels, please make sure you are supporting each other. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channels. Now, Nick, do you have a YouTube channel?
Actually, you know what? I just started one.
Okay.
During the process of showcasing my process of getting my pilot's license. So I've started that.
And what's
that is a bad rabbit hole to go down. It's a bad rabbit hole.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's called More Right Rudder.
All right, there you go.
Like with the purpose of that, when you're training, you're always here. The flight instructor. He's always telling you, whatever you do, put more right rudder in, more right rudder. So
that's cool. That's cool.
That's where it came from.
Okay. Yeah, if you know how to put up a link, you can do that. I would like to put up the link, but I really don't know how to do it. So, and Rob, what about you? You have a channel, right?
Yeah, no, I don't. No, I don't. I listen. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not gonna. I had this fantasy of doing that. I just don't have the time, and it's not the channel itself. I have a full-time job and I volunteer, which involves a lot of time on top of having children and a wife and a house, and there's things that have to, be maintained. I don't have the time to sit in front of my computer and learn editing.
Well, I'm going to tell you both. It's nice to be retired.
Yeah.
I really am enjoying my retirement, and I do spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos. And but I gotta say, and there's Nick's channel. Thank you, Maddie. Let me put it up. Let me see if I can highlight it. There's Nick's channel. All right, very good. Thank you, Maddie.
Just now getting this stuff. Probably putting up like one of my.
Now, we got to get Nick some subscribers. If he just started this channel, he doesn't have too many subscribers, so we got to get him some subscribers. So anyway. But listen, the hour goes by so quick. It really does. And we got the World Drone Community comes right on after this show at 7 p.m. And that's Robbie. So I got to say, I don't like to go in his time. I like to keep it at about an hour. And, those in the chat, make sure you tune into World Drone Community because he comes on at 7, and then we got the Grumpy Vlogger. He comes on at 8 tonight, and Lloyd. I enjoy his show, and then we got Drone Nation. Drone Nation is one of my favorites with Ron and Marcus. Ron's on the road, so it's going to be interesting. He may be doing it from a remote location tonight. I think he was trying to make it to South Carolina. He's already on his way to Florida, just to let everybody know. Hey, Sean, good to see you. Mr. Crowley and his Joan, good to see you. And Crypto Man, how you doing? And I hate to say it, but we got to say goodbye. So I'm going to let Nick, you can say your goodbyes first and anything you want to promote. Go ahead.
I just appreciate you having me on. I've been on, like you said, your Fly for Fun show and enjoyed myself then. Many times while I was, in a patrol car when I was still on patrol, we would do the Fly for Fun show. Had to leave a couple times for drone missions, for some search and rescue missions. So I truly enjoy being able to talk with you and, your guests, and appreciate the opportunities that you give me, especially to be able to highlight, me starting my channel. So More Right Rudder. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being on, and stay safe. That's the most important thing. Stay safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay safe.
Thank you.
And Rob, maybe you could say your goodbyes and anything you want to promote.
All I want to promote is More Right Rudder, which I hear is the #1 streaming YouTube channel.
Oh,
But please join it. But Ray, thanks for having me on.
Well, no, thank you. Thank you both, really. And everybody in the chat, thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week. But just get out there, fly for fun. Most importantly, fly safely. And thank you both again. And we'll see you again next week. So if you want to hang around, we'll have a party right after I end the stream.
Green M&Ms only.